Welcome back to Cosmoholics Anonymous. Oh my. I am your favorite girl, Bo Vintage, and today's video is my leg dry. Who cares? And today's video is a story time. This is a story time that happened 2 weeks ago while we were in Jamaica. Shooter damn near almost died. So I guess I'll start by how the hell we ended up in Jamaica, because honestly, that was not a planned trip. What happened was Shooter came home from school on Monday, and this is like the last week of May. Shooter came home from school on Monday and he was playing his video game downstairs, and I was upstairs and I came downstairs and I was hanging out, and he's like, babe, I'm bored, let's go on like the cheapest vacay ever, like let's just go. Spontaneity, you know, I live for spontaneity. We haven't done anything like that in a very long time. Oh, look at my tan, child. We haven't done anything like that in a very long time, and so I was just so down for the cause, because I'm like, I ain't got shit to do, you ain't got shit to do, let's do it. And so we were actually gonna go to Cuba. See, cheap vacation, you go to Cuba, girl. We're looking at vacay packages online and we were trying to figure something out, and I started comparing prices, and I'm like, one, this is Shooter's first vacation. The man's never left the country, okay? I've left the country plenty of times, so it wasn't really about me. So I was just like, Shooter's always wanted to go to Jamaica. If we're gonna go anywhere on vacay before this baby gets here, it's gonna be Jamaica. Like, we're probably gonna go on another vacay when I'm like 5 months, but like for his first vacay, I'm like, there's no other place to take you, baby, but Jamaica. Okay, let's go and have some fun in the sun. Because the resort that me and Paris stayed at last year was so bomb, I was like, that's where we're gonna go. So I look it up, I see the price, and I'm like, okay, let's book, but let's leave from Toronto. So we booked this trip. We pack our bags. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, do you have space at your house, because you're gonna have 2 patrons tonight? And she's like, oh, why? And I'm just like, because we're going to Jamaica in the morning, like. And she's like, you are? And I'm like, yeah. And so I tell her, I'm like, listen, the baby's coming, we ain't got time for all this, like we have to do it now or never. She was like, okay, yeah, there's space, come on, you can sleep in my bed. And so I was like, okay, thanks, Mom. And then we hopped in the car and we drove 4 hours to Toronto. So we get to my mom's house pretty late, because we had to be at the airport for around 4 a.m. and we got to my mom's house around 11:30. I had filmed videos to edit to bring, like the Shooter's kitchen and stuff, that was filmed all before Jamaica, and so I wanted to upload those videos before we left while I was at my mom's house, or bring my laptop to Jamaica and upload on their Wi-Fi, but it didn't end up going down like that. We get there, I don't really sleep once we're at my mom's house. Shooter did take a little bit of a cat nap. My sister drives us to the airport in her car, and we're at the airport, and to be honest, this was very risky for us to do, because Shooter, we weren't sure if he would make it past customs, child, if you know what I'm saying. And so this was really like, I really had to pray before I'm just like, they ain't gonna turn you over at the border, we're already here, like, you know, they're not gonna do nothing crazy like that. But yeah, so it was actually interesting to see how they treated Shooter at the airport, like at the Canada airport, because like we walked together and they did the random check on Shooter. They like swabbed his hands like he was a drug dealer or something. I said, oh, not my man. So not my man, baby. So yeah, she swabbed his hands and she's like, you're okay, you go, to me. And I was like, no, I want to be a criminal too, like I'm gangster too, why y'all don't swab me? But no, I really didn't want to be swabbed, because the last time I got swabbed, child was a problem, okay? If you didn't see the Mexico Story Time, then go watch the Mexico Story Time. I never want to be swabbed at the airport ever again, okay? So I was actually happy, relieved that she didn't swab me. But like, I was kind of offended that they swabbed him, but I totally get it. Like, he has neck tattoos, he has hand tattoos, they're gonna swab him. Even if it is just me and him, they're gonna check him, okay? Then we're going through security. Shooter gets through security just fine. It's my turn. I'm a hot ass mess at security. Don't ask me why. I was hot, I was sweating, I was not having a good time at security. I had a 2-liter bottle of water, or a liter bottle of water, and you can't bring it through. And so the lady was like, you can't bring that. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally know. There's a garbage right there, and I'm not no Steph Curry child, so I couldn't just toss it. So I had to go under the rope, put the water in the thing, and then come back. But my stuff was going through the damn scanner, and so there's people now that are lining up to go through the scanner as well. But like, I'm like, y'all ain't about to go through the scanner and then my stuff is on the other side and I'm not on the other side. So I was very disoriented. I was sweating. I was acting like a criminal. And I was acting weird. Like, I was just being a weirdo. So then there was a girl there and I actually was like, fuck, I don't know what to do with my passport. I can't lose my passport. So my passport was actually in the bin that had gone through the damn scanner, but I didn't know that. I thought I had left it on the table when I was throwing the water out. So then I went to the girl that was like standing there and I was like, is this my passport or yours? She's like, it's mine. Excuse me, ma'am. Like, I asked, it's not like I just picked it up and went opened it and she looked at her photo and her IDs and stuff. I asked her. She's like, it's mine. I'm like, well, okay, thanks. And then I was just like, okay, whatever. My passport's gone. Whatever. So I go through the scanner now, push the people out of the way because I needed to get through before then. So then I walk through. The thing doesn't go off because I don't have any metal or anything on. Like, I was wearing like leggings and a sweater. And so I get my stuff and everything's great. We make it through security. I'm like, we're on a good path right now. So we go and we sit and we're waiting now to board, and we still have like maybe an hour and a half before boarding. So that was like freaking horrible. So there was like these little iPads in the cafe and we were just playing these scratch and win games on them, and I won a bag of chips. If you were following me on Snapchat, then you saw the little bag of chips. I had to play that game for literally an hour and a half to win a bag of chips, and then we ended up getting 2 bags of chips because the one girl had brought the chips already. Another girl had brought another bag of chips right before we were getting on the plane. She's like, oh, they brought you your chips already? And I was just like, yeah, but I mean, if you want to leave them, you can. And she was gangsta, child. She left the chips. I said, thanks, girl. See you never, but like, thanks. And yeah, then we boarded the plane, and we actually weren't seated together because I guess because we got to the airport kind of late. So they only had seats that were like 2 aisle seats. So I was on one end of an aisle and Shooter was right beside me in that aisle. Okay, so our seats were beside each other. We just weren't in the same section or in the same row. Or we were in the same, girl, you know what I mean, okay? We were just we were opposite sides of the aisle, okay? So we're sitting beside each other, or kind of, and we're waiting for the plane to take off. The plane takes off. We landed Jamaica. It's hot as hell, child. We're going through to go to customs, and we get to the front of the line, and the ladies ask us questions. And at this point, I'm like, dear Lord, please don't let Shooter get turned back now, because I can't waste this. Like, this, we're not about to waste all this money on this trip because Shooter's a damn... So we get through customs and we're like, oh my god, smooth sailing, like we are in the place. So we go outside and we're both overdressed, by the way, because I don't dress for the country I'm going to. I dress for the airplane because the airplane is cold, okay, cold like Canada. So we were overdressed. We follow the path and we go to the bus to take us to the resort. So we get on the bus, we're the first people on the bus, and everything's cool. Now, once we got on the bus, I said, baby, you are drinking for both of us, okay? Because I can't drink. It's not gonna be the same fun I had last year, but I want you to have all the fun because you just graduated school. You was a good boy, like, you know, you've been faithful and whatever, like, you know, I want you to have fun for the both of us and this baby, okay? Have fun, because this is the last time you're gonna have some fun before you become a zaddy, okay? So I told them to have fun for the both of us. Did not expect the man to take it literally, okay? Now I said have fun for the both of us. I didn't say drink yourself into oblivion and death, okay? So yeah, so we get to the resort. What happened on the first day? No, you know what, back up, because the first day I was very upset. The person at the reception was like, well, it's pretty early and check-in is not till around 3. Girl, it was 11 o'clock. Do you know how many hours that is? So we were like, she's like, you guys can just go enjoy the whatever. Your bags will be in your room when it's ready. So we actually took one of our bags with us because it had like my laptop in it, and we left the other bag. We were waiting and waiting and waiting. We were walking around the resort, but like, you can't really do much when you have your stuff with you and when you don't have a room to go to, you know what I mean? If it was like proper, then we could have or if our bags were in our room, then we could have changed into our swimming stuff and gone swimming because it was very early in the day, and you know. But that's not how the shit played out, because we ended up waiting for our room for over 5 hours, and we were pissed. Literally, it got to the point where after we finished walking around and sightseeing and stuff, we ended up going back to the lobby, and we were sitting there for however long, I don't even know. Like, we were sitting there to the point we fell asleep on the couch in the lobby, or at the reception desk, and we were just waiting, and we were checking. She was just like, they said 1 more hour. They said 1 more hour. I'm like, 1 more hour, girl? By the time you give us a bed room, it's gonna be 7 p.m. Like, no, this is not okay. So they actually ended up giving us a different room because the room that we were supposed to get was not ready. I was just like, wait a second, but I paid for that kind of room. So, but I was like, whatever, the room is not important because we're not gonna be in the room. We just needed to sleep in. So finally, we get our room and we put our stuff down. And by that time, it was like time to go eat dinner. And so we did. We went to the Japanese restaurant on the resort, and it was délicieux. Okay, it was so good. We actually wanted to eat at the Jamaica restaurant because if you're in Jamaica, like, why are you not gonna eat Jamaican food? So we wanted to go to that restaurant, but we couldn't because it wasn't open that night. She said it'll be open the next night. So let's fast forward to this next night, because this is the night that Shooter decided, or the day, sorry, that Shooter decided that he was really gonna drink for the both of us and for like everybody else on the resort. This is the Wednesday now. So Wednesday we wake up and I tell him, listen, you're gonna have the Gerber shot, and that's like this really listen, if you guys go to the Grand Palladium Resort, ask for the Gerber, but not all the bartenders know how to make it. It's very dangerous. You don't need more than 2 for like a 24-hour period, okay? I was like, that's what you're gonna have, and you can have whatever other drinks in between, but like that is what you need to get the, you know, to have fun, okay? So we get ready, we go to the pool, we go to the bar that's outside of the pool, and I'm asking for the shot, and the guy's looking at me like I'm speaking Japanese, and I'm just like, look, I had it here before. He's like, sorry, I don't know what that is, and all this stuff, and I'm just like, okay, thanks. And he's like, can I get you anything else? I'm like, no, thanks, it's okay. So then we go and lay out in the sun, and I see this bartender that's collecting cups, and I'm like, excuse me, do you know how to make Gerber? And he's just like, oh yeah. And I'm just like, well, we are in here, okay, we are in business. And so he knew how to make the shot. I didn't realize that by him knowing how to make the shot that my trip would be, you know, a little crazy. But yeah, so I asked him which bar he works at, and he says the one inside the swim up bar. So we get in the pool once we see him get back to the bar, and we head over there, and Shooter gets a Gerber shot. We don't know what the hell is in this shot. I just knew it was strong as hell because that's the shot that we had on our trip that made our trip forgettable, okay? Because we don't remember our trip, okay? All we know is what we see in the video. Shooter gets this shot, and he's just like, that's baby food. That's baby food. I'm a big man. That's nothing. I'm just like, what you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, I was just confused by him, but I'm just like, okay. And so he's also getting other drinks too, and they gave him a second Gerber right after the first one because he said that was nothing. And so I'm like, 2 Gerber shots, that's gonna creep up on you. And he tried to ask for a third one. I said, no, babe, because 2, you're gonna see how much of a big man you are if you keep taking these shots. And that's not the only shots he was drinking either. Like, he was getting shots of different things. And like, even the bartender was like, I ain't taking no Gerber. I'll take a tequila shot, but I ain't taking no Gerber Henny. So Shooter takes those shots, and once Shooter starts drinking, he a little friendly, but he also, I would say that, you know, I would say that he is confrontational if he's tried. And so he was pretty much lit after sitting at the bar for about 20 minutes. The shot started to set in, and at this point it's fine, you know what I mean? He's lit, he's having a good time, I'm having a good time watching him have a good time. We go back into the pool now. He has his cup, he's wavy, talking about, I'm wavy, babe, I'm wavy, and I'm just like, I know, I can tell. And so, yeah, I'm just allowing him to just have a moment. You know, he's having a time. And so, like, at this point, his drunkenness is not intensified to the point where I'm like, oh no. It's just like he's lit. And so, like, he's on one. And so, he's talking to people in the pool. He's being sociable. But, like, maybe 40 minutes go by now, and I notice that he's doing too much. And I'm a little embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie. So, I'm embarrassed now. I was just like, you know what? He's not, like, belligerent at this point. But I still need to get... I need a breather. Because I'm pregnant, I'm highly irritable. It is what it is. Girl, when I'm not pregnant, I'm highly irritable. So let me not use that as an excuse. But, like, so I feel like I just need a minute away from him. And so I'm like, I'm going to go lay out in the sun. At least I thought I was going to go lay out in the sun. He's trying to make me dance in the pool. And that's when I was like, hey, no, I really got to go. He was, like, holding my arm and spinning me and, like, doing the most. He's dancing in the pool. He's being whimsical. I'm like, girl... So I'm like, ballerina shooter, you need to relax. I'm like, I'm trying to get away, and he's like, where are you going? You're not going nowhere. And I'm like, babe, I just want to go lay out, like, you know, let me lay out. He's like, nope, not today. And I'm like, please. I tried to get away. This man pulls my bikini bottoms down, okay, in the pool. He's holding them down, and the water is blue and clear, okay? It's clear blue, child, like the pregnancy test. It is clear blue. He's pulling my thing down, so anybody that's in the pool looking in this direction can see my whole booty, okay? And I'm not impressed by this. I'm not happy with him. I'm very upset and embarrassed, but I'm laughing at the same time. So I'm just like, this is my fault. But not really, because I only said he needed the shot once, but he decided that he was gonna have two, and then a whole bunch of other shots along with that, to the point where the bartender was like, nah, it's probably 11 a.m. So the bartender said, no, you have to slow down. You know, you have to pace yourself. Here we pace ourselves. You can't just keep blah, 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 because you will ruin your vacation, which was facts. So it's 11 a.m. and this man is on one. So I finally get away from him. I get out of the pool. I go and lay out. And when I'm laying out, I start observing him from afar, and I see him talking to, like, these old men in the pool. And Shooter's arms are doing this and this, and he's, like, doing all of this, and I'm like, oh my god, what is he saying? I couldn't tell if he was arguing with the person or if he was having a conversation, which was an issue for me, because I'm like, no, honey. Like, you ain't about to get me kicked off this damn resort because you can't handle your liquor, okay? So he was, so I was observing, but then once it was first one old man, and then, like, another old man came. So now there was two old men. And so I'm observing. I'm like, what is going on? So then I realized they were not arguing. They were having a conversation. And so then I see a third old man come. And I'm like, okay, I want to know what the hell they talking about now. So I, with my nosy self, come and I get back into the pool. And I hop over the ledge. And I just swim past them. And I'm just staring in their direction. And they called me over because it was obvious that I was with him. So they call me over, and I meet them, and they're really cool old guys from, like, Illinois, and they're just having conversations about random stuff, and, like, Canada and America, and healthcare being free here, and doctors over there, and a whole bunch of different stuff, and then cooking and all this stuff. And so then the wives also come, and we're just having this big conversation with them and just vibing. And I'm listening to Shooter talk, and I could tell he's, like, still drunk, but I felt like he was chilling, like he was relaxing. If he had stopped drinking here at this moment, the day would have went just fine. But because the bartender had told him, come back at 3 and I'll hook you up again, that was, like, stuck in Shooter's head. So once we finished talking to the old people and they went about their business, Shooter's like, is it 3 o'clock yet? He told me at 3 I can come back to the bar. And I'm just like, you don't need any more to drink. Like, what do you mean? And so once the old people left, I realized that he was still very much intoxicated and he wasn't coming down off of anything. And so I was just like, oh no, this is not going to be good. So he drags me back over to the bar, and I tell the bartenders no more. I'm like, he's cut off. I'm a non-motherfucking factor, bitch, because they did not listen to me. He acknowledged the fact that I said it, but then the other guy that was there, Robert, okay, shout out to Robert, he actually ended up giving Shooter another Gerber shot, and this is definitely overproof rum that they're getting. Like, it's like 1,000 overproof, girl. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's not cool. And so they also give him like this shot of this thing called a hot motherfucker, and basically it's like the blue Sirocco, girl, I don't know how to pronounce that thing. It's like the blue liquor and like Red Rooster hot sauce in there, and I was just like, ew, like that's nasty. And that and then Shooter had that shot, and there's a lady sitting to our right, and Shooter's talking to her, and then her husband comes and Shooter's talking to him too, and like we're talking about their ages because Shooter was in disbelief that the guy was 51 because he was saying that the guy looked younger than him and blah blah blah, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a shit show. And I could tell that the guy was annoyed with Shooter. I could tell that he was not feeling Shooter, and I didn't want to be in that situation. Just the older white gentleman, but like I could tell he was annoyed, and like body language and like one-liners, girl, I just knew. And so I was just like, oh my god, this is really embarrassing. Like, I couldn't deal, mind you, because Shooter had kind of fallen off the stool of the bar. This is still in the swim up bar, okay? So there's a bar in the middle of the pool. So Shooter had kind of fallen backwards, or like slipped backwards, and his legs had hit the man earlier, and so I already knew that the man was probably like, this young man does not know how to hold his liquor, like, get out of here, like, you know what I mean? And so I could tell he was annoyed, and I was annoyed that he was annoyed, and I was annoyed with Shooter, and it was just a hot mess. And so Shooter's belligerent at this point. He's smacking up his belly, talking about, I'm a big man, I'm a big man, this is nothing, I can handle it. I'm like, but you're drunk, like, you sound dumb. Like, I was so mad, you guys. I was so friggin' pissed. But yeah, he was just like, I'm a big man, I'm a big man, smacking up his belly, doing the most, and I'm just like, you don't even realize how drunk you are, because 5 minutes later he'll be talking about, I'm so wavy, and then the next 5 minutes he'll be talking about, I'm not even drunk, I'm not even drunk. And I'm like, you're the drunkest guy on the resort right now, my please. So yeah, so then the bartender gives him like the end all be all shot for the day, and it was called Deadpool, and it was a red shot just like Deadpool. And when Shooter took it, I just knew that it was just not gonna be a good time. And even there was a lady bartender at the bar, and she was just like, first she was saying that she'll carry him back to his room, have fun on your vacay, blah 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 blah. But then she started to say, when she realized that he was like kept taking shots, she was like, you don't want to be the guy that throws up in the pool, because they're gonna have to close it for days. Like, and the pool is like the main thing on the resort. If they close the pool, vacation sell off, like, it's done. So I was just like, I am not about to be the girl with the man that threw up in the damn pool, okay? You was too old, baby. So I wasn't having it. Once I got to my like my breaking point, I knew that if I left the bar, Shooter would come with me. And so I left the bar and I went to go stand up by the wall in the pool. And Shooter came, and he starts to catch an attitude with me because he's drunk, and he's like, what, you're embarrassed, this is my first vacay, blah blah. He's acting like a Toronto man. I was so mad, I was so freaking pissed. He's like, my first vacay, like you told me to you told me to have fun and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm not telling you not to have fun, babe, I'm literally just trying to get you to chill, because you're doing a lot and you're probably going to regret this because you drank way too much, and it's going to, like, you're going to be affected by this. Don't think that you're, just because you're 200 whatever pounds, this is gonna be like, you know, I've seen you drunk. Like, remember my birthday story time that I told you guys where Shooter got too drunk? It was like this times 10. And so I'm just like, you have to relax. Like, that's all I'm trying to get you to do. I'm not trying to ruin your fun, your vacay, nothing. Like, I would never do that. But he's not hearing me because the man is belligerent. So I'm just like, okay, I'm over it. And so I'm just like, I need a moment, because he was getting too loud in the pool, and I was not about to let him talk to me no kind of way, because I would pop somebody, okay? And so I'm just like, you're drunk, it's okay, I get it, like, you know, when you're sober and your person, whoever you're with your friend, your man, whoever is too drunk, it's annoying. And so because I'm super sober, child, I needed my moments away from him. I would try to leave the pool again. The man ripped my titty out this time. I said, no. Luckily this time I was facing the wall. Like, I wasn't facing anybody for anybody to see, but like, he was like pulling my bathing suit, and I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, first you take my booty out, now you're taking my tatas out. I can't be in the pool with you right now. Like, let me just go lay out in the sun, and I will hit you up later, honey. Like, just have fun in the pool. Don't go back to the bar and let it wear off, okay? So finally, I get out the pool. I hop the ledge. I go walk to my beach towel area or my seat, and I go lay out and catch me a little tan. Okay, so I am brown and golden and looking fine. Okay, so I leave him in the pool, and I'm still watching him because I just need to make sure he's okay, you know. So I'm watching him from afar, and I see him, like, it's literally like maybe 15 minutes after I get out the pool. I see him contemplating his whole entire life, okay? Like, I see him and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, he's definitely wasted. I feel like he's thinking about how he was just talking to me. I feel like he's thinking about his whole life. Like, he just looked like a sad little puppy. Like, he really looked like, oh no, right? I see him start to walk towards the shallowest part of the pool so that he can come out. And then he starts walking over to, he gets out of the pool, he starts walking over to where our chairs were, and he's like, babe, I'm too drunk. I said, serve your ass right, okay? Because guess what? I tried to warn you, I tried to slow you down, but you didn't want to listen to mama, so now you're gonna have to pay for it. And Shooter's my baby, it is what it is, so I'm not gonna grudge him. He's drunk, you know what I mean? He's in Jamaica, he's finally a yacht, like, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna be mad at him because he's not himself. So even though he was talking to me crazy, it's the liquor. So, you know, oh, I kept telling him when I was actually in the pool with him, I kept telling him he's acting like Jim Leahy. If you guys don't watch Trailer Park Boys, it's not gonna be funny to you. And so he started talking like Jim Leahy, and I was just like, oh my god. And he's holding his cup with his drink to his ear, talking about, Randy, you hear that? It's the liquor talking. I'm just like, oh my god. Like, he was actually, like, when Shooter has stages of being drunk, first he's cool, then he's mad funny, and then he's just like a redneck. So so yeah, so he comes or whatever, and his slippers were kind of cutting up his feet, so anytime he wore the slippers, he would wear his socks with them, even though we're in Jamaica. So I put his socks on for him because he was just way too drunk to function. I put his socks on for him, put his slippers on, and I'm like, we're gonna go back to the room right now. He's like, I don't know if I'll make it back to the room because I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And I'm just like, I'm thinking, okay, he throws up, he gonna feel better. Girl, no. So he doesn't actually throw up. We make it back to the room because the room wasn't too far from the pool. We get to the room. Almost as soon as we opened that door, he started vomiting profusely, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And it's not like he was drinking on an empty stomach. He ate, maybe he didn't eat enough, but like, he was vomiting profusely. Shooter vomits violently, so it's like, like, it's disgusting. It reminds me of when my landlord used to wake up in the morning and cough, and I was in that landlord story time. Girl, his vomit is so violent, and so I'm like concerned about him, but I can't go into the bathroom because I'm not down to smell the vomit. Like, I'm just not. I'm thinking this man's gonna die. Mind you, it's only 5 p.m. and he's this drunk, okay? You're supposed to drink the whole day in Jamaica. You're not supposed to stop at 5, but he drank enough for the entire he drank enough on Wednesday for the entire trip. So it was just like, oh no. He starts throwing up violently in the excuse me, in the bathroom. I'm not feeling well because I'm having my little pregnancy problems or whatever, but I wasn't throwing up, and the sound of him throwing up, girl, I just could not. And so once he finishes throwing up, he lays on the bed and he just starts making this weird moaning noise. Like, it wasn't even a moan, it was like, he sounded literally like a vibrator. He was just like He's just making this weird noise until he like fell asleep. And then even in his sleep he was making the noise because his body was in physical pain from all the alcohol consumption. And so I realized he was drunker than the time that he was too drunk at my birthday. I was concerned about him because I'm just like, oh no, like, girl, we didn't buy traveler's insurance, honey, so if you die here today or if something's wrong, do we go to the hospital or not? Do we take our OHIP? We had our OHIPs with us, but like, what do we do? I didn't know what to do. And so I was very tired too. I needed a nap, and he was obviously gonna go to sleep too, but I was so worried about him that I could only go like half asleep because I was listening to see if he was still alive. Like, when I say, and this is not the part where I say he almost died, okay? When I say like I was genuinely terrified that he was going to stop breathing, I was real scared. So I'm like asleep beside him, and I'm listening, and at one point I wake up because I don't hear him making the noise anymore. The noise was like confirmation that he was alive. Once he stopped making that noise, girl, I said, oh no, my man dead. He dead in the bed. So I get up and I just look to see if his body's moving, and his body's moving. He could have been in a coma. I wouldn't know. So I go back to sleep or whatever, but because I am pregnant, I could not just not eat that night, and we were supposed to go to the Jamaica restaurant this day, and so I was just like, okay, you know, he's in the bed, it's around 7, I need to get up, get ready for dinner, and just go to dinner by myself. And I didn't want to go to dinner by myself, but I'm like, I ain't got a choice, I gotta eat. Like, I'm not about to be in this hotel room all night because Shooter decided to not listen. So I get up, I get ready, and I was gonna sneak out. Girl, the man woke up. So Shooter wakes up and he is red. Like, he's super red, and it's not sunburn red, it's I drank too much red. White people. So he's pissed. He's still drunk. He's very intoxicated, or not so much drunk, like not lucid, but drunk body wise, and he's suffering from alcohol poisoning at this point, but we don't really, like, we know because he's vomiting, but like we don't realize how severe it is yet. He gets up now, he gets ready, and he's telling me, I don't know if I'm gonna come with you or not, but I want to come, we're supposed to go blah blah blah. And I'm just like, well, make up your mind because I gotta go. Like, I'm actually starving and I'm feeling sick. Like, if I don't eat, I throw up. If I eat, I throw up. So, but I needed to eat. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna get ready, I'm gonna come. So Shooter gets ready, and he is not himself at all. And we go to the restaurant, and I'm feeling like, okay, once he eats and replaces the food that he threw up, you know, he'll feel a little better. So we get to eating at the restaurant, and like, he has like 2 bites of his fish, and he's like, I'm gonna throw up. I had actually gone to the salad bar and got him like bread and stuff to hold it down. You could not hold this kind of sickness down. So he's eating, and he's like, I'm sick, I'm gonna throw up, where's the washroom? So I tell him where the washroom is. He goes to the washroom, and he is vomiting in there. I'm sitting at the table myself looking real dumb. And then he comes back and he tries to eat some more. Shooter probably left the table about 5 times during dinner to go and throw up. Really, really, really bad time for him. Once I finished eating, Shooter's like, we gotta go back to the room. I'm sorry. He's apologizing to me because he feels like he's ruining my trip, and he feels like he's ruining my dinner, so he's apologizing to me. I'm like, whatever, it's nothing, like, it's whatever. I don't really care. Like, I don't. So we go back to the room, and before I even like pull the key card out the damn door and push the door fully open, Shooter pushes me out the way, talking about, babe, move. Babe, move. He pushes me out the way, kicks his slipper off into the damn closet. The other one's still on his foot. He goes to the sink, and he's vomiting profusely again. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's gonna be up all night. Which he did, in fact, stay up all night vomiting. He was just vomiting. And so I get on my laptop now and I start researching, because I'm just like, I wasn't sure if we should go to the hospital or not. I wasn't sure what we should do. He tells me that there's like little gray specks in his vomit, and I'm like, gray specks, what the hell is that? So I Google it, and I realize that there's now blood in his vomit. And I'm just like, oh my god, this man is really dying right now. Like, what the hell? Either his esophagus tore, his liver is messed up, his stomach is messed up, or there's one more thing that could lead to blood in the vomit. I'm freaking out now because I'm just like, oh my gosh, what the hell are we gonna do? Like, you literally drank yourself to death. To death. I finished doing my little research and I asked him what he wants to do because we're trying to give him water. He throws it up. We give him candy. He throws it up. We give him tea at the restaurant. He threw it up. Like, he wasn't able to hold anything down. Nothing was holding down. Like, and so I was really, really worried about him. And I don't think he was afraid to die, but I was afraid he was gonna die. I asked him like specific things about the gray specks in the vomit, and he told me like it looked like coffee grounds almost. And so that was a relief for me because that meant that the blood was dried up already. Like, it wasn't, if it was still red, then that would have been an issue, but because it was dark and dry, it was a better, you know, it was a better scenario. Because if it was red, then we definitely would have to go to the hospital, but because it was dried up, that was a better sign. And you just like monitor to see if you continue to throw up that color, and if you do, then go to the emergency, but if not, then just be happy and die. So I actually had bought him like the Pedialyte, but it wasn't enough, and he was probably up till about 6 a.m. throwing up everything, and so the Pedialyte didn't work. And the only thing that actually allowed him to stop throwing up and go to sleep was an orange bigger. Okay, that is orange soda, an orange Jamaican soda. Like, what? That was the only thing that he was able to digest, and actually like it didn't come back up. And so once he had that, he went to sleep. He woke up the next day and he still felt like crap, but we still went out and we had fun. The only thing was he didn't drink that day, on the Thursday, because he couldn't, like, there was just no drinking. Even the smell of alcohol, the smell of the bar was gonna make him throw up. I said, you pregnant, boo. Yeah, that's the story time on the time. This is story time 2 weeks ago when Shooter almost died in Jamaica from alcohol poisoning because he doesn't want to listen. Like, you know, I'm not any, can't say that anymore. I was about to say I'm nobody's mama, but I am somebody's mom. I'm not Shooter's mom. And Shooter's a grown-ass man, and if he can't hold his liquor, then I can't help him. We had a really good time in Jamaica apart from that day. And we'll definitely be going back. Shooter has learned his lesson. We have lots of alcohol in our house, and he's not touching it because he doesn't want to see any alcohol. Yeah. Pray for Shooter. He learned his lesson. I don't think he'll ever drink that much again, but then at the same time, it's like, I thought he learned his lesson when he drank at my birthday. But I mean, when you're in a different country, it's a different kind of fun, you know? And Jamaica doesn't water down their liquor. So that was the issue too. When you're in Toronto and you go to the club and you're having shots, they're watered down. There's water in them. So you could have more shots. But in Jamaica, ain't no watered down liquor, boo. It's all straight up alcohol. So I guess Shooter was drinking like he was in Toronto, and that's why he ended up so sick. But like, I almost lost my baby daddy, y'all. Like, it was real. Like, I don't think you guys understand the fact that I could not sleep because I really thought he was not going to wake up. Like, I really was like worried. I was genuinely worried about him. But we are blessed and highly favored, so, you know, God had our backs even though Shooter did too much indulging. And yeah, it was a good time. But anyway, you guys, I love you all, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.